junk for home or office junk removal. We make junk.
All right, let's see what New York One's going to bring up. Any crime today?
I'm Ruschell Boone with your New York 1 Minute. Summer break is over for more than 1 million public school students today as they.
All right, that's at least a local news story. I mean, at least kids are going back in the classroom.
To get vaccinated under a new city mandate. Meanwhile, today starts the enforcement of the vaccine requirement for indoor dining, entertainment, and fitness centers. Fines start at $1,000. Records show that the man accused of killing a baby in Brooklyn in a car crash had 3 prior arrests and a shocking.
All right, so at least they talk about crime.
Traffic violations. He's now facing multiple charges. The MTA says security cameras are now installed at every subway station across the city. And Madonna makes
let's
a
see if
surprise
that's
appearance on stage at the
that's true or
MTV
not.
Video Music Awards. The event held last night at the Barclays Center.
Well, this is technically a local news story since the VMAs were held in
Justin
Brooklyn.
Bieber, Olivia Rodrigo, and Little Nas X. Officers Union. Our political reporter Emily
Well, this is interesting. They didn't bring this up in the open.
There was a lot of passion there.
They're actually talking about Rikers Island.
Absolutely.
They actually sent a reporter, so that's a shock. I'm very surprised about this.
Officials from every state of government, that's city, state, and federal, did tour parts of this facility in shifts.
I don't know, maybe New York One's watching my YouTube videos and they're seeing how I'm criticizing them. Well, I wish News 12 would watch PinePowerLI's videos and take my example of how I've criticized New York One.
There's also State Senator Jessica Ramos, who said she witnessed something truly terrifying.
Are so extreme that actually
Oh God, get this woman off the TV! You support bail reform!
Suicide. There is all sorts of gunk on the floors everywhere. Between dead cockroaches this big, to fecal matter, to food that's been sitting there rotting for a long time.
This group of lawmakers,
That
mostly in the
is
newlyweds,
alarming.
who are a little more
And
left-leaning,
you would think Eric Adams would be at this today. Nope. Nowhere to be found. He's too busy whining and dining at nightclubs. I bet tonight he'll be at Studio 54 trying to enjoy the Cabaret Club coming back.
Down the detainee population, but we know, of course, there's an issue with understaffed there. The corrections officers calling out of work because they are injured, because they are overworked. The union's representative.
Yeah, well, they should go to my nursing home and see how we're short-staffed over there in Osna. I understand correction officer workers are short-staffed, but what about nursing home workers? What about hospital workers? Those are the jobs that need more staff than anything right now. And here's the shouting match. Look at that. Yeah. But again, no Eric Adams. Where is he? Where is he? He's nowhere to be found.
Or the detainees themselves. So one thing they are all agreed on is if Mayor de Blasio doesn't act, if he doesn't do something about work release and take other immediate action to either boost the number of
that 3-month-old baby in Brooklyn over the weekend. They say Tyreek Mott has 3 prior arrests, and data from the city shows the license plate on his car is linked to a shocking 160 traffic violations over the past 4 years. That includes 91 speed violations. According to investigators, Mott was driving this gray Honda Civic the wrong way on Gates Avenue.
And by the way, they didn't even mention the fact that there was a shooting in Harlem where a pregnant woman was killed.
Police then say those 2 cars and hit 2 pedestrians and that little baby who was in a stroller. The NYPD says Mott tried to steal another vehicle to get away after the crash. He is now facing multiple charges, including attempted robbery and resisting arrest. And those charges, well, they could be upgraded. His most recent arrest was in February of this year for aggravated driving without a license. He was also arrested for reckless driving in 2018. Mayor Bill de Blasio released a statement saying in part,
you know, de Blasio should really keep his mouth shut.
And good people across the city.
Hey, you know, New York One really loves de Blasio.
Passed a crash victim's rights. A pregnant woman was shot in the face and killed. Police believe it happened while she was trying to.
Oh, good. At least they're talking about the shooting in Harlem.
Her own baby shower. It happened on Sunday, just after 1 a.m. along West 128th Street. Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard in Harlem. According to investigators, two men were arguing when the 31-year-old Shanice Young tried to intervene and shots were fired. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. A memorial is now in place at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made in this case, but sources are telling New York One investigators are now looking.
See, this is ridiculous. Channel 4 actually sent a reporter last night over to Harlem to cover it. So, I bet there's plenty more crime that they could cover, but, you know, the news director's like, you know what, we gotta talk about COVID. We gotta talk about schools reopening. You know, they're not just gonna spend a whole half-hour newscast on crime. But I'll give them credit. They're watching my videos at Spectrum. Maybe they see that I'm complaining about their news coverage. So again, maybe, for an example, that News 12 Long Island, if they're watching this video, maybe they should take the same example of what Spectrum News is trying to do and try to appease me, or I actually want to hear about the crime. See, I wanted to know about Rikers. I wanted to know about the lady that was shot in Harlem. Well, that lady was shot after going to her own baby shower. And I will mention, Channel 4 did bring up the other story that you saw earlier. There you go. That's what I just wanted to show you. Well, look at this. Later on in the broadcast, they talked about stabbing at Prospect Park.
In serious condition. No arrests have been made so far, but the investigation is still ongoing.